Hey Void, so Humanoids from the Deep. 1980. I don't even know where to start here. I can't say I dislike this movie because it did have a lot going for it. But I don't know if I could really recommend it a lot either. Okay, so Humanoids from the Deep. It's about a fishing town that's been having some problems. A cannery wants to start moving in, but not everyone's a fan of that, particularly the local Native American population. So there's a bit of tension in town. And when things start going wrong, such as all their dogs turning up dead, people disappearing, and someone's boat blowing up, they start blaming each other, particularly the local minorities. But no fishmen. Yeah, and not just any kind of fishmen. Fishmen who like the ladies. Okay. So originally, Humanoids from the Deep started out under a different title, Beneath the Darkness, which was more of a hard sci-fi film about genetic engineering and the dangers therein. But then we add Roger Corman into the mix. Yeah, well, Corman decided that this movie needed more fishmen attacks, so filmed extra scenes there, particularly ones with tits. So a lot of nudity was added, which pissed off the director. She wanted to disown this film. Later on, she recanted on that a little bit, said that, okay, after seeing it years later, it was at least a entertaining, if not groundbreaking film. But yeah, it gets into skeevy territory in true Roger Corman fashion. Okay, so we got a bunch of fishmen running around this town, killing people, and sexually assaulting women. There's your movie. So, the fishmen designs aren't bad. The costumes aren't terrible. They're not great, but for early 80s, I'm going to give it a pass on it. The design was cool enough. It did look a little awkward in certain scenes, but not too bad. The gore effects? Actually very good. I will say they were definitely top tier, particularly for early 80s. That's pretty much where all the budget for this went. The acting, oh boy. Okay, now here's some of the line reads here were bad. I don't know if it was like dubbed over at any point, but some of the characters' voices just don't seem to match the person, so it's weird. And a lot of people just seem to be trying to do over-the-top voices also. So the acting is entertaining, with the exception of the person playing Johnny Eagle, the leader of the American and then the Native Americans, who he's giving this his all, which with how incongruous it is for what else is, that makes it even better. So, also, the movie doesn't really resolve anything. I mean, at one point there's a big fishman attack and people survive it, but it doesn't really say whether that's all the fishmen or not, and there's no really way of knowing if they got rid of all the mutant fish. And a few people were, impregnated by them, and apparently they're giving birth to hybrids, so there's that on top of this, so so really the movie just kind of ends. It decides it's done, I guess. After a big attack, some characters survive. Okay, good enough. Let's do the shock ending of a fishman tearing itself out of a pregnant woman's belly. Okay, movie. The effects make it definitely worth seeing for that alone, but it's a skeevy movie. It's not as bad as some of the descriptions I was reading made it sound like it was going to be. But yes, there are sexually assaulting fishmen in this. And there's more than one scene of it. And yeah, they're running around ripping women's tops off. So yeah, if you don't want to take a movie seriously, this one it's entertaining enough that it's worth a watch, particularly with a lot of alcohol and a lot of people to laugh at the film. But it has to be the right group because it has raping fishmen in it. Not everyone's going to be on board with that. So I don't know. So they kind of explained like the way where the fishmen came from was they were genetically engineering a gene that will make animals grow quicker, and they've been using it in the salmon. They want to make better yields of salmon, help the fishermen out because the scientists they want to get in good with the locals. Well, a batch of fish escaped, and then I guess some coelacanths ended up feeding on them, and now are evolving. And now they've evolved to a humanoid form, and because of that, they view humans as a threat, and so they're attacking them. And they want to mate with women because it's what fishmen do. Well, Lovecraft would agree with you, so okay. Yeah, it's a weird animal to try to recommend. Personally, I'm giving this one 4 MacGuffins just because it is what it is. It wasn't bad enough for me to call it bad, and the gore effects are really good, and the monster designs, while a little janky at points, aren't terrible, but the story's a mess, the dialogue's a mess, so I can't even give this a rate of average. Humanoids from the Deep, for me, I'll give it a 4 MacGuffins. But yeah, if you want a bad 80s movie, it's worth a watch. Alright, I think that's it on this one, and probably it for today, so I should see you guys tomorrow if all goes well. Otherwise, we're doing pretty good for the month so far, so I'm definitely ahead of the curve and will intend to keep it that way. See you soon.